What Mormons believe, homosexuality. I guess just critiquing this video. She says that Mormons believe that God created the definition of marriage when with Adam and Eve were the first married couple. Not true. Mormons believe that God, Elohim is his name, was raised on a planet near a star called Kolob, and that he had parents, and that this goes back into infinity. There are an infinite amount of gods who used to be men, just like us, gods and goddesses, an infinite amount of worlds, or planets. They used the term worlds back in, 1820s, 1830s, 1840s, but it's planets. So no, God didn't invent the if he has a wife in heaven and is bearing spirit children, so they're again it's trying to make it look like Christianity. It's not. Second thing. Mormons do not hate or condemn people. They're taught to not to hate or condemn people, except when they are. Except when the first statement that Joseph Smith was given was, all churches and creeds and religions are an abomination. That condemns every religion in the world. I mean, it goes on, but in Nauvoo, Illinois, under the guidance of Joseph Smith, the Nauvoo Expositor, I believe it was, the newspaper of the town, was smashed up. The printing press, they smashed it up because they didn't like what the free press was saying about the Mormons. And then Joseph Smith and his brother got in a gunfight and died at the Carthage jail. Under the guiding hand of Brigham Young, the second president, second prophet of the Mormon Church, the Mountain Meadows Massacre happened, where they slaughtered man, woman, and child up to a certain age. They left some of the littlest children alive. But Mormon doctrine's not going to change, except when it has. I mean, it's continually changed. Blacks could not be part of the priesthood, which means they could not get to heaven. They couldn't get their own planet because they fought less valiantly in the pre-existence. This has changed in 1976, 78, I believe, because the FBI was looking into them as a white supremacist organization. Mormons believe in traditional marriage. No, they don't. They believe in polygamy. They still do, because if your wife dies and you remarry, when you get your own planet, when you're a god, those are your two wives. You have them, polygamously in the heavens, and you create spirit babies to then be born in flesh on earth, on another earth, a parallel world. So, I mean, it actually changed this polygamy thing. They changed this everlasting covenant. I mean, read Doctrines and Covenants. It's everlasting. This everlasting covenant. They had it changed because Utah could not become a state until polygamy was banned. But in spiritual practice, they still have it. But yeah, so they've changed their doctrines and dogmas continually. An everlasting covenant. This is same with black people in the fighting less valiantly in the pre-existence. That's why they're cursed with black skin. They can never receive the priesthood, which means you can't get into heaven. You go into this place. It's like a paradise earth, which is like a hell version for this. Even Hitler goes to this place, but you can't get out, and you can never be close to God. Mormons do condemn and do hate, and there's been not recently from the mainline LDS church, but the breakoff church, like the Kingston group, and the colonial groups in Mexico, mass slaughter and bloodshed amongst the fundamentalists. So traditional marriage, no. Adam and Eve, one man, one woman. Mormons totally rejected that as basically being being sexual perversion up until the point when the U.S. government said no, and then they changed it. And same thing with black people. Blacks can't be Mormons until now they can, because it's about a decade after the civil rights movement, and we're getting looked into as a white supremacist group, which they are. The white and delightsome people. I mean, there's a lot of things incorrect in this. Being celibate's wrong. Her brother, who's on this video, who says he's gay, says, well, nobody wants to be celibate. You know what? Actually, early Christians, a lot of them chose celibacy. In fact, the words of Christ tend to lean that way. And even St. Paul, they don't restrict marriage. And certainly it says anybody who does not allow anyone who, no one can marry, he's an antichrist or something, or a false prophet. But it was heavily encouraged and seen as a better way to remain celibate.